politics and sports are practically inseparable now. Way back in 2016 and 2017, and then San Francisco 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick started to protest the national anthem with and he would do so by taking a knee during the national anthem and because well I'm sure many of you know what he was protesting, but if you don't know, he was doing this to protest the up police brutality, and especially against black people here in the United States of America, and it sparked this huge outcry. Like it started. I mean, like he got a considerable amount of other players in the league to start taking knees and during the national anthem and well, it sparked a huge political debate, at least here in America, because for one, you had people not showing up to games, and like in many cases, says that NFL stadiums would hardly sell more than 20 or 30% of their tickets. It's because of the protests. The NFL's TV ratings also took a monumental hit because of it, because of the protests. And many people, well, and many people, well, most notably people on the right here, or people on the political right, voiced their displeasure, and they were very vocal in doing so, and so because they were the ones who were not showing up to the games, and they were not watching the NFL on television, and thus sparking the NFL's ratings to take a massive hit. It got much worse when then President Donald Trump chimed in and saying that you should get those people off the field and that they're fired. Like, I mean, that only added fuel to the fire. It did not heal anything. It just caused the divide to spread even more. Like I mean, the divide was already quite substantial, and this only caused it to separate, caused the divide to grow. There were, and the protests were not limited to just football. The protests spread to, or the protests also became very prominent in the NBA. There were some protests in the MLB as well. I mean, so clearly the protests had a substantial impact on the world of sports. thanks to Mr. Kaepernick. Well, and it hasn't been all that good for the world of sports. Our politics have not been all that good for the world of sports. And it's not helping that recently there was another instance where people where politics were brought into sports, but ironically, it was introduced by the people that were protesting politics in sports to begin with. Or it was this new form of politics or political opinions being introduced into the world of sports has been brought in by the very people that were saying we should keep politics out of sports, and they're doing so. They're doing so by chanting "Let's go, Brandon," and this is to express their great displeasure with current President Joe Biden. 4 years ago, you guys were avidly against politics being in sports. You know, it may, but then again, it makes sense because it makes sense because with many politic or with many groups, they don't like something until it fits their narrative. I mean, it makes sense from that angle, but in the real world, it doesn't make a ton of sense because it's just pure hypocrisy. What's really interesting to me is how both groups will absolutely hate on it, or how people from both groups will absolutely hate on on um, the owners of the teams, because they're these rich billionaire people that who throw a big hissy fit whenever for the city that they're currently in doesn't want to build them a new $1 billion stadium. I don't know about everyone else, but for me, stadiums don't have to be that expensive. Excuse me. Like, as nice as these big retractable roofs are, I just don't think they're necessary for every single stadium to have one. Like, they are part of the reason and why stadium prices are skyrocketing right now. That plus every newest team in is it or plus every team and every owner is in this big ego contest right now for who can get their city to build them the biggest, most expensive, state of the art stadium. Am I alone with my opinions? But I want politics completely out of sports, like as much as possible. I I really could not care to hear anyone else's political opinions when I'm watching or playing sports, and like like we're there for entertainment, or I'm there for entertainment. I'm there for enjoyment. I don't want to talk about politics. Then I save that for the internet. Well, sometimes, and I also keep some of my opinions too, or behind closed doors. closed doors. Excuse me. And as for the owners, I like just give us a nice stadium to look at. It doesn't have to be this big state of the art Jerry World or something. Like it doesn't have to be this big ego booster. Uh, they're cool, but keep the costs down. Keep the taxpayers out of it, please. Alright, that's going to do it for today's video. If you liked it, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, share this video, share my last video, like that video, comment on that video. Subscribe to my gaming channel, links down below if you like gaming, and I'll catch you all next time. Bye.